All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 46 of the Strip Poker Night at the Inventory podcast. Obviously, following the end of episode 45 and the end of President 45. I guess everybody listened to me from last time.
Yep. I think our politics cast went over quite well. You know, the power, I don't know, guys, like the power of the people who play Strip Poker Night.
We speak to thousands of voters.
The power of Strip Poker Night, the inventory swung the state of Georgia. You heard it here first.
That's what the pollsters didn't factor in.
Didn't tell anyone. Stacey Abrams.
With all the anime perverts.
It's just like, look, you guys got to, vote for me and I'll make waifus real. And then Joe Biden's like, all right.
Stacey Abrams, also known as Arndress.
Yeah, it's just
secret identity.
Jack, I got to admit, your taste in waifu, we can.
That's why he used the voice changer.
Exactly. Jack, I got to admit, your taste in waifus is not something we can agree on, but we can all agree on that waifus are the best. Biden's going to be a president for all waifus.
So unsolicited political opinions aside, welcome everybody. We have I'm SPNatI. I have my usual co-host Nmasp. Say hi.
Hey everyone, Nmasp here.
We may be walking and talking and getting food at one point in this podcast. We'll find out.
I'm channeling our the legacy caster Joe in some of his more interesting recording configurations. But it's great to be here.
Oh yeah, he was eating it during some episodes, wasn't he?
My apologies. The pizza will be boiled soon, but tonight is not that day.
All right. So anyway, we got two returning guests here. We got Wibbly and Sentimental Rotom. So hey. Wibbly, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Wibbly. I also known as Wibbly Warble. I've coming back onto this podcast. I'm glad to be back here. And yeah, writer of Mega Man.
And Rotom.
Hey guys, it's Rotom. I'm back from, this has just been I haven't really been in that podcast since
You never left.
No, I never left at all.
Craig has been recording him this whole time.
No, I'm still here. Either way, it's been a while since I've been on the podcast. Great to be back.
Who did you make?
Oh, I'm just the creator of Rin, and currently on the testing table is Brock.
Brock from Pokemon?
Not this joke again.
Brock from Venture Brothers?
Totally, yes. From Poker Night. Yeah, Poker Night 2, remember?
He was in Poker Night.
Yeah.
All right, good choice.
So, yeah, Brock from Brawl Stars, yes.
All right, so we do have some new characters and some art reworks this time. We got plenty to talk about, so Nmasp, why don't you lead us in?
I will. Before we do, though, I just want to take a note and comment on the walking and talking with Mr. Solitaire has a very funny comment. I really hope this is pasted in at some point during this conversation. Cool. So today's theming is, we're a little late, but we're focusing on Halloween and genre mashups in SPNatI. I'm on record in saying that SPNatI thrives mostly because it's a good mix of not only the sexy elements, but also there's a lot of humor and a lot of genre potential as well. So before we get into that, though, we have a few other new arrivals to the testing tables or new arrivals in the sponsorship since our last cast. So we're going to go over the new stuff first, then we'll dive into the folks that are on sponsorship. Please, if you're listening to this and haven't done a sponsorship yet, please go do so. They're really easy. They help the creator and they help the game. And then we'll move on into our content today. So we'll be keeping a brisk schedule. It's not quite going to be lightning round, but let's be judicious. And so we'll start out with talking about Perona. Perona is a character from One Piece. Metallitar introduced her right around Halloween, so that was a really exciting addition. We've never gotten a Halloween character before, but I have a lot of strong feelings on her that I think she really does stand on her own. So that being said, Rotom, why don't you give us your thoughts on Perona, then you'll hand it over to Wibbly, then SPNatI and I will wrap up and move on to the next character.
What about you?
Oh yeah. What about you, by the way?
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm gonna talk between, like, me and SPNatI can kind of talk together, but realize that it's me and SPNatI.
Oh well. Anyways, my thoughts on Perona. Well, I've actually played her a couple times, though I've never been too familiar with the One Piece character set. Though, judging from everything that I've seen, I just gotta say, those animations, they are much better than some of the other ones that I've seen. Like, have you seen some of them? They're awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a master of it. They're very smooth.
Seriously, like if you haven't seen those animations, I'd recommend trying to like she's in testing right now, but still, you really got to check those out. As for like other possible things, I wouldn't say that I'm like completely attracted to it. However, like I can definitely appreciate just I guess her just looking for a servant or like some sort of I'm not sure what she's looking for exactly. Like just I guess a servant or something like that. But
it's strange how she talks about how like she wants you to be her servant, but it doesn't really ever become like a sexual thing. I don't think.
yeah, I guess it's just.
I kind of think that's okay personally, but I'll wait for my turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting niche that hasn't really been covered a lot, but honestly, this is a very interesting addition to the roster, I've got to say. So who's the creator of this one? Do you know?
Metalitar.
Alitar.
Ah, yes. Good. All I have to say is bravo on those animations, especially. That's really all I have to say for that. Weebly, you got anything to say about that?
Yeah. I think all the positives on that that you mentioned, as well as I thought that the one thing is interesting is the kind of princessy personality thing that she kind of has. Kind of reminds me a bit of electric Pokemon woman. I can't remember her name. Brain fart.
Like a gym leader? Or?
Yeah, the gym leader.
Lisa, probably.
They're both kind of very fashion oriented, you know.
Oh yeah, Lisa.
I get that feeling from Perona as well, and so it allows you to kind of. Normally, people try. It's recommended to shy away from talking about clothing too much, but you can do some interesting things when their personality revolves around, a bit more around that. So it's kind of. I saw some fun stuff with that, and I definitely think that the. I liked the design of like the undergarments and everything very well. You don't see kind of the fancier stuff that often, so that was well done. And yeah, no, I think I'm not familiar with One Piece, but I know what it looks like, and I think they did a really good job at capturing the aesthetic of it without seeming too jarring. Two things I noticed that I would recommend is I noticed that I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but on the character select screen, the parasol covers a significant amount of UI and stuff like that when you select her.
I think that's on purpose.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure, but I thought it worth bringing up. And then the other thing I noticed...
the whole line is like, "Hey, are you listening to me?" But that's covered up by the.
I mean,
gotcha.
By the umbrella.
If that is intentional, I just props to them because honestly, I actually it kind of bugged me at first, but I didn't even know it was intentional until you actually mentioned that.
Yeah, the other thing I saw was with the ghosts. I noticed you could kind of see the tails through them, and I wasn't sure if that was because I'm not familiar with what they look like, if that's what they normally look like, or if that was an attempt to not make it look like they had little cow-like hairdos. If they were all the same color or something, or without the transparency.
I think that's intentional.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, if it wasn't, one idea I was going to say was adding a small black line or along the top, but you could have them the same color to kind of differentiate the depth between the two. But yeah, no, other than that, those were the only two big things. I'm always going to harp on, adding more, generics and whatnot, no matter what stage it's in, because I need to add more too. Because they're a little bit of repeating, but, they're on testing. Like, that's normal, So I think she did really good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, Nmasp is already getting pizza.
Yeah, all right, Wibbly. Go ahead for your Perona thoughts, but then, I'm going to change devices. I'll be right back.
Wibbly just spoke.
It's all good. You go, Spinaon.
All right, Nmasp has died. So rip in the chat.
F in the chat.
Taken away from us by pizza.
Yeah.
And the coronavirus. He's got to go out and get pizza. He'll get infected.
Corona pizza.
I posted some gifs of Perona. She looks pretty cute. He pretty much nailed her face and her customized and everything. That's pretty standard for Metalitar at this point. He always makes like super solid art. The ghosts look good. Her dress looks good. I love her poses and all of her facial expressions. Very expressive. It's almost like the SPNatI equivalent of comfort food. You always know he's going to come out with something nice, girl with big tits and fat ass, and there will be custom poses that make use of both of those things. So it's hard to go wrong.
Oh yeah, what I don't understand is what the heck's with her eyes? Like the pupils are pretty much the size of her whole entire eye.
That's kind of like standard One Piece.
It's just the way One Piece is.
Like I've seen Luffy with like smaller pupils, but
I think that's just like it's supposed to be like a goofy, creepy character.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great. I like it.
Her pouting face when I first saw it made me. If I was drinking a drink at the moment, I would have almost spit it out because that caught me off guard and made me laugh.
Yep, Masks is back.
I could find it if you give me a second. Solitaire, just cut this out. Just pretend that I have it on hand immediately, because I'm on top of things and I'm not just floundering. Pouting. I know this is here somewhere.
Kind of like really exaggerated. Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I only saw it once, but it made me.
I hear you. All good.
Right, great.
Is it this?
Yeah, that one.
Wait.
She's just puffing up her cheeks.
Yeah,
Solitaire, I found that immediately. Keep that in mind.
I gotta say, when it comes to Perona, like, I tend to be the type of person who doesn't have a lot of negative feedback just because I really enjoy essentially any work product that people put out for the game. But with Perona, it's like, I think Metallitar is probably the one creator in the game who can just do no wrong. Like, I don't think it's possible for him to make a bad character. But like, even still, it's like One Piece's art style is so fucking like grotesque sometimes. It's inspiring that he made like this like horrifying looking like gonk character.
He fixes Mantis Chan into something a little bit more reasonable.
Oh
yeah, I'm like, I can't believe it.
Yeah, you can't really go
Matt,
wrong.
are you stuffing your face with pizza?
No, I'm actually I was holding my phone in my mouth because I'm like about to walk through a fucking like dark alley. So my last will and testament is on this like porn recording. Anyway.
Well, I mean, this is where all your secrets are exposed.
Oh, wait,
Exactly.
real quick. Solitaire, add in a picture of Perona holding a Corona.
Oh, that's a good one.
The coronavirus.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
Oh no.
It's her ghosts that make you apparently depressed and negative.
Yeah.
And sometimes make you want to go commit die.
Yeah.
Sometimes they give you a dry cough.
I actually I really liked the. Oh man, did I take a wrong turn? Maybe. Anyway, I think I really liked. I wrote a lot of targeted lines from Natsuki to Perona, just given like that they're very similar characters, except like Perona is very much like, actually, I'm fine the way I am, and it's really interesting to see like Natsuki be like, oh, huh, okay, I guess like you're just me, but a little better. So I can use you as a role model, and then Perona's like not someone you want to be a role model for anyone.
Yeah.
She's interesting though. She's entertaining to play with because I mean, yeah, she's got nice tits, nice ass, but she and not only is she expressive, but she's got a pretty funny personality in general.
She's such a weirdo. I really like her.
Yeah.
I got what her deal is right away. Basically, she's very immature and naive. And like protective of other girls' modesty or something like that.
She's pretty pretentious in some ways. I would say.
All of Metallitar's girls kind of fall in line with that. I don't know what some of their characters are for real. I don't know if that's just appealing to them, but they tend to be like very like sexually naive and sort of inexperienced, and just sort of like stumbling through it
While still being like fucking like powerhouses.
Yeah. Despite being like very strong.
Also,
yeah,
Garter Belts gets an A+.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, that looks amazing. I'm so there for that.
Yeah, and I think that's custom, isn't it? Kisuke doesn't have that.
I think some of that stuff is. I think it's like based on like some of the newer versions.
I see some belt stuff, I guess, being worked on, I guess.
I don't really know anything about One Piece, but she's definitely a presence on the table. You kind of get a sense of how she's going to react to stuff.
Oh, for sure.
She's great. She doesn't like get gimmicky. You know, she floats a little bit, but it's not like ever like intrusive and weird, which is great. Love the ghosts when they do show up. Love the order, and you know, there's a surprise there at the end. Go play her. It's awesome.
There's sort of it was kind of an out of nowhere pick because he disappeared for a while and we thought he was just working on the Shantae epilogue. I don't know if that's still a work in progress, but I really like just this surprise. She's fun.
Yeah, me too. That was really impressive. Like Vitalitar is like never like, oh yeah, this is what I'm working on. Here you go. It's always just like, and full character. Here you go. Can I mod QA now?
Full character, especially below the waist. She's full.
Oof. She does have that butt.
She has that wagon.
Oh fuck.
Solitaire, just go ahead, censor this, but don't censor it too much. I want to convey the volume.
Censor it for Corona.
So, yeah, SPNatI on any no.
Censor it with a bottle of Corona, like it kind of looks like it's going up into her.
I was gonna say censor her with Moon, and then like use that as a segue. But SPNatI on, do you want to talk more about Perona, or do you want to move on to Moon?
Oh, I'd love to talk more about Perona. I'd like to talk about anything
other than Moon.
Can we talk about like colonoscopies?
Well,
what?
Speaking
abortion, all pleasant conversation topics.
Oh God.
Nmasp, would you like to have a loud conversation about abortion in the pizza parlor?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not going to have a conversation about abortion. Oh, hey, John. Can I have... Yeah, I'm here to pick up the order. Yeah, for Mark. Great, thanks. Yeah, I'm just talking to some friends about the election.
This abortion of an election.
Yeah. All right, John. Thanks. I'll be back in a little bit.
Damn it.
All right. Well,
sorry guys. I gotta actually pay for my order. I'll be back in like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. All right, so obviously,
go ahead. Yeah.
Very, very positive.
SPNatI on. You pick your next character. Pick whoever you want to talk about next. If you don't want to talk about Moon, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, okay. Perona. Final thoughts. You know, very positive, very expressive, very sexy. You know, just all around solid character as usual. Always quality work from that guy. Even if it was quite the surprise.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's see. Well, everything else on testing that we want to talk about is an art rework. So we haven't had any other new characters besides Perona, but we have had multiple characters that have had their art touched up quite a lot. So improved models. Well, one of them is technically sort of a new character because it wasn't just updated art. It's completely new model and poses and dialogue, completely separate from the old one, and that is Yang Xiaolong from Ruby. I don't know if I said that right.
Oh yeah, Ruby, yeah.
I don't know. Apparently she's Ruby's sister. I don't know why they don't have the same last name.
I'm not sure if they're all related in some point.
I can't remember. I saw the first two seasons, but
Was it like an adoptive sister?
I think something like that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just assumed they were all friends or something.
So where are we now?
Yang,
Just introduced Yang.
who is technically a new character, sort of. So
I think yeah.
Yang has been the subject of much controversy for the better part of SPNatI's life because of interesting creative choices regarding shipping and artwork that people weren't happy with. So we just decided to make an entirely new one. This is coming from Niels, who has made a couple of older characters, and most recently he's also done the rework of Weiss, which again, tried to make it closer to the source material, which I think most people responded to pretty favorably, but it's been a little divisive, I want to say. I'm not sure.
I'm actually not familiar with some of these controversial ships, actually. Probably because I wasn't actually here long enough.
I think it's mainly because technically Ruby and Yang are sisters.
Wait, are people?
Oh, that makes sense.
Wait,
It's something we can talk about a little bit more. Is like, what's the place of like shipping in this game?
Yeah,
for sure.
I think Yang is actually. I think Yang would be a good place to talk about it, though. But
that's fine. I mean, Yang's okay. I'm gonna hand it off to Rodom in a second here.
That'd be great.
But basically, people didn't like how Yang among other things, like was shipped really hard with Blake
Right.
in her original incarnation in SPNatI. People didn't like it.
Fair enough.
So anyway, we'll talk about it more, but Bro Tom, go ahead. What do you think?
All right. So, well, with my experience of Ruby, I haven't had a lot of that with that either. However, like, I actually have quite a few friends that, or one in particular, that is absolutely obsessed with Ruby. But I digress. The model for Yang, this completely remodeled one. Oh, I'm actually.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
definitely better.
For sure. Like in comparison to Weiss, who also got a rework as well. That was also. It's actually a really nice addition to those. Like, I'm gonna guess that the other two, Blake and Ruby, are eventually also gonna get some sort of reworks by the same person. If that's probably it.
Yeah.
Because noticing this pattern of the Ruby girls getting updated, I get, like, out of the four, I would say Weiss is my favorite, but I definitely see the charm in Yang. Especially with her little puns. I actually enjoy those puns quite a bit, too. Just the, like, even the slight dialogue changes that there might be in there, oh. Like, there are times where she gets a little repetitive, but yeah, all in all, I'm pretty sure, like, from what I've seen, it pretty much captures the personality of the fun-loving Yang pretty well, I would say. So, yeah. Wibbly, you got something?
All right. Yeah, no, first off, I don't know what it is exactly that caused this, but when I was looking at it, the model, I had to do a little bit of a double take because it looked slightly 3D, but not quite. I don't know what it was, but I think whatever it is, like I even did like comparisons of our models to make sure I wasn't just seeing things. I'm not sure if this is just me being crazy, but if this was intentional, I think they did a really good job of capturing the feel of the art of the Ruby characters, which is hard translating kind of 3D to 2D sometimes in a nice way. And so, yeah, no, I think they did a really great job with that. It looks really great. And then I don't know how much of the dialogue was changed and new. Do you guys have an idea of that? Or
I actually have no idea. I don't think I played Yang since maybe 2018 until now.
Yeah.
So it was like
I think it's completely new dialogue because it's new character.
Okay.
yeah, because it's actually like regardless of how much was reused or if anything, it's good. I actually really I like it. Yeah.
it has she had a very kind of nice, relaxed attitude that's like just the right amount of overconfidence without being like too overbearing. Just kind of a really fun character to complement other characters and like kind of enhance the feel of the game too. It has a lot of potential with that. And very flirtatious in a fun way too. But the one thing I definitely wanted to at least point out though, I noticed it could have been just RNG, but there were a couple lines I saw that repeated more than just slightly repeating.
Yeah.
Those lines were, I think, one of them was her saying, like, you look pretty strong, persistent, your brawl later.
Yeah, it's mostly like, yeah.
And then, like, I think another one was, I'm just making sure, I wrote these down just in case they wanted to look through them and see if it was like a priorities issue.
Good for you. That's great.
Oh yeah, just don't get overconfident. But yeah, no, I'm not sure if it's either priorities or not enough variety, but I would kind of beef up that section wherever those lines are a little bit. But other than that, no, it's a lot of the writing's fun. I like that. The artwork looks good, so no big complaints.
If I recall correctly, I guess most of those lines are towards the must strip for other characters, usually.
Right.
That's where I see most of the repetitions.
Yeah, the you look pretty strong one, I'm guessing is a filtered line, just based on the context of what they're saying. And if that's the case, I wasn't sure if it was either a priority issue or where, if it is a filtered line, you might want to consider like adding a play once thing to it, because it might be overriding other things. But
it's similar to like masturbation. You have to really fill out must strip female a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much like the most common thing. Besides, like, well, I mean, hands obviously.
Yeah.
But in almost every round, it's going to be a female character has to strip.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, the line I mentioned, it targeted me as a male player as well. So that's what made me think it might be filtered to something. but
Probably so.
could be wrong.
I mean, it happened to me, and I didn't really put any tags on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I actually put quite a few tags on myself, and I still get the repetitions.
Also, I think she targeted like Pyrrha with it. It's like, you look pretty strong, Pyrrha, and it's like, I think she knows that Pyrrha's strong.
Yeah, I kind of continuing on. I think there are some issues. I think because like the outfit is so custom, there's definitely rips here and there where Yang will be like lifting her arms up and the belts don't really follow.
Her shoulders start to detach.
Yeah, I'm sure someone can kind of like draw attention to it. Like overall though, the model is such a clear upgrade. I think she looks so good. The tone of the like, there's typos here and there. There's some weird lines every now and then, but Niels is not a native English speaker. I don't fault anyone for trying to write things in their own language. I know I write some lines sometimes that are just like are absolute garbage, and then someone's like, "What the fuck did you write?" And I'm like, "I don't understand this language." But
you're not a native English speaker either, or so you claim.
No,
you've never spoken anything else.
Yeah, it amazes me how many of the devs aren't, because so many of them speak it so well. Honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had to, anyway, it's not really that important, but yeah, I'm not a native speaker either, so it's like I can respect how hard it is to get these things right. So it's definitely never from a place of like condemnation. It's always just, this language is such a hellscape. You need to practice it a lot to see when people are happy about it. Anyway, TLDR, really good upgrade, really, really nice. Looking forward to targeting her a little bit more. She's a lot more fun. She's a lot less angry and a lot more like fun, like party girl, kind of here to have a good time, which I definitely think is a substantial upgrade. Yeah. So great job.
Yang's original model by like the guy who made Videl 927263. That was pretty good. It was about the level as all the other rubies. Then their writer came and gave them all a nice downgrade, which we had for the better part of like 2 years, and some of them are still there. And basically I heard about that. This girl was supposed to be like a close range fighter and gave her like a pot belly. sort of look. She didn't really look right.
I think you've succeeded at doing something interesting in anything in life when they have to make a rule to stop you from doing it. That's all I can say about that.
That is a success in a way.
Yep.
SPNatI, any kind of closing thoughts on Yang? Like we can talk about the shipping thing.
It inspired some reform. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, real quick, I'm not super familiar with Ruby either, but this upgrade it's an upgrade. Everything about this Yang is a good start. I wouldn't say she's there yet in any category. She's got like a couple weird model issues. I don't know what's up with like the sort of like the makeup on like her top, on like her upper eyelids. It seems really heavy. I don't know if that's intentional.
It's like that in the model though. Like in the show, it is kind of like that. But I do think, I think you're right. Like if you want to do our typical 1-2 punch of like, I'm like, oh yes, sweet baby, and then you come in and be like, hey, you fucking donkey.
I don't know. It kind of looks like a bruise.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Wait, what?
It kind of looks like she's bruised.
Oh.
Which I guess would make sense, but
yeah. Something that I guess that caught my attention when I was playing Yang. She does mention that she's a brawler, and considering my
what does Brock think of that?
Oh yeah, I yet to make some lines for Blake in particular. That's probably going to be something I might have to do as well. Just anything mentioning brawling or fighting in general, that's always going to be some sort of target for Brock.
Okay.
Or any Brawl Stars character if I ever make him in the future or whatever.
But like I said, Yang's good start. She's not there yet. Like posing, she's got her poses are mostly good, but there always seems to be like something that's just a little bit wrong about it. Like in the forfeit, she uses like her pointer finger, which
not really how it works.
That's the least sexy finger. You got 5 fingers, and that's the one that's the least sexy.
So the other thing is like I think like it's a good time to talk a little about like shipping and SPNatI. And
okay, I just want to briefly like her dialogue too. Like her dialogue is not. It's definitely an improvement. I don't see any of like the weird negativity that she had in the old version.
Right.
I think her lines could use a little bit more detail and personality, but I kind of get what her deal is like the fun-loving party girl. I just think, could use a little bit more personality. She kind of talks about the game a lot. And there's one point where like she very briefly gets embarrassed and then goes right back to just kind of flaunting herself and like, it's like, hey, get a good look at these down here and stuff, which it's weird that she did that and nothing really came of it. She just went right back to flirting.
Yeah.
Just the sudden mood shifts, I guess. It was a little weird, I guess. I would say.
But everything else is fine. Just keep at it. I think it's a big improvement. So yeah, if you want to talk about shipping.
Yeah, so I do, but I actually given
Speaking of the guy who created Marinette and Adrian.
the fucking pioneer. I do want to talk about this. However, given the time, I do want to keep moving through the characters and sponsorship and on tests. So we can actually, I think, circling back to this topic either later tonight or in a different cast is good. So as you can tell, everyone, we're a little rusty. This is not rehearsed. This is all our pure ad-libbed thoughts, straight and uncut.
You think I rehearsed for these?
Just like it should be.
No, I mean I did at one point, but I also wasn't on all of them. So let's go ahead and move on and let's talk about Pyrrha. We'll save the Natsuki art update for last because I want to hear you guys compliment Hex's hard work on that.
Yeah.
So Pyrrha got a model update, like I think today, actually, right? Was it today or like yesterday, something like that? It's been the last few days.
I think it was yesterday or today.
Yeah, so we haven't had a lot of time to explore it. I think just
let me check.
Props to Bo and Erger for the upgrade. We'll talk more about Pyrrha next time, I think, just because it'll be a chance to explore that.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, okay. So for these casts, we usually don't do new content for things that are launched like within like 48 hours. So sorry about that, but it looks good so far. We'll talk about our next cast. On to so the Natsuki got an art update. Natsuki has been probably my like row 1 character since just about she released. So I thought it was about time to give her an upgrade. Napsu wanted to do some Halloween outfits. Those did not materialize, but the model needed to be upgraded for other purposes, which will become apparent in the...
Just give us a second. Technical difficulties.
Oh dear.
Oh, Nmasp was getting mugged.
Yeah, it happens. I'm fine. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
You're good.
That's what happens when you live in major American city.
Yeah, so anyway, did you guys hear the part about the so Natsuki art update? It's good. I'm a big fan of it, obviously. It was supposed to go into a set of Halloween costumes for the Dokis, but alas, did not materialize in time, but the model will be used for something very special very soon.
I just have to say that, like, looking at Natsuki's new model, honestly, it's pretty adorable. Like, at first, it just took some time getting used to, because I guess for the longest time I've been used to that old model. But look, kind of just playing with her now, it just fits a bit better with her aesthetic. Honestly, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of that remodel. So Hex, honestly, great job with Natsuki. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I honestly think you. When I say you, sorry. I honestly think Hex is a lot more talented than they give themselves credit with some of the stuff sometimes, and I think that honestly, I love seeing when they start working on something like this. It usually, it takes a bit of work, but what they make comes out looking really nice. So I'm always happy when I see something like that.
If only he made Hex Maniac.
Yeah, I know. That would be a wonderful day.
I always really like Hex's contributions to project. He's a very diligent person. I think like in real life, it would surprise me like 0% if he were like a copy editor or an accountant or something like that. So, I think if those career paths are open to him, he should do it. But he's got a proud history ahead of him as an artist. I say in public
as a bean counter,
a grammar director,
as he describes himself.
Well, he's so detail oriented. Like you can make money doing that.
He should be an accountant.
Yeah. I will be back in just 5 minutes, folks.
All good.
Oh god, we gotta fill 5 minutes without him.
Pick a song and sing.
Has everyone said their thoughts on Natsuki?
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. Honestly, I think there's nothing more to say than praise in general for it.
Natsuki is my favorite of the 4 Dokis, honestly. So just seeing that model makes me really happy for her to get a bit of representation. Which is SPNat for? That's like I guess just those small nuances of her expressions just makes her all the bit cuter. I'm a fan.
Well, I've made my relative indifference towards Doki Doki Literature Club quite clear at this point. I think she's definitely. I think, the hair's an improvement. She's more expressive. I can see what Hex was talking. Like, everyone kind of hates their models after a while and thinks they could do better. Because obviously you can, and it's good to see him committed to improvement like that and putting forth the effort to improve her.
Mark of a true artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's definitely more expressive. I kind of see what he meant about like the old model looking kind of like a gremlin. She had like a very like boxy chin.
I guess I just got so used to it that I haven't really noticed it that much.
I'm not sure if. I mean, people always bitch when an art rework comes out because people get attached to the old models regardless of how on model they were.
Yeah, that's kind of me, to be honest. But don't get me wrong. The model's great. The new model's great. I guess it's just my brain trying to get stuck on the nostalgia.
Yeah, like in a vacuum, this definitely looks better. I'd take this. Is it more on model than the last one? I'm not sure.
It's kind of hard to tell with particular expressions. Like, I guess when I was looking at some of them, like her tsundere model in general did seem maybe a little bit off-putish, but yeah, that one. Like, in a way, it does kind of give that nod to the old model, in a such, because I don't see a lot of a difference with that, but I'm still a fan of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely appealing. I like it. I just don't know if it's more on model or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his stated goals were. It's hard to tell.
Yep.
I feel like it's mostly the eyes. I feel like her eyes are maybe like a little softer than they are in the source. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up.
I kind of like how it gives off this kind of. Yeah, I'm not sure the best word to use, like whether polish or kind of like soft or like I don't know what the word is, but
yeah, I mean, you shouldn't hold yourself back just because of like the original models made by I think a guy called Robotnik or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to chain yourself to those forever.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I wonder how like some of the other models are gonna get that same treatment, like Sayori, and I know Yuri just came in, which of course was the surprise of the century. But I think Sayori especially, since I think she's kind of had that same model ever since her debut, if I recall correctly. And I've seen Monika get some minor changes, but nothing like too substantial. But I guess like once all of them get updated, it would just kind of seem to blend together a bit more.
All right, Nmasp has asked me to sock puppet him. So, yeah, Solitaire, if you could just go ahead and like post what he's saying. I'll read it aloud, but like basically he's talking about, he loves the expressions and overall he's looking for the word polish. And I agree, it's definitely more polished than the last one, which is basically a borrowed model. She's got the right amount of sweeten on model. It's definitely more accurate with respect to the CG images and matches SPNatI more. I can agree with that. She feels a bit softer, which is good. Yeah, the new one is fucking rad though. TLDR. Lol, Sayori, and Monika updates, and then he pinged Napsu. Please update Sayori.
Yeah, I guess he just agrees with most of the stuff I've said about Sayori. Since she's been here since pretty much the beginning of time, I guess.
Yeah, so overall positive. I don't know if like if like all the casual fans are going to appreciate it, but I definitely think she looks better.
Absolutely.
You can't just rely on the casuals.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so our last art rework this time is from a character that has been on testing on and off for a while. Her dialogue was being worked on, but she's really waiting on a big art update to sort of draw more attention to her new development process, and that is Pyrrha, also from Ruby. So let me just post her updated model here. She looks, I guess you could say, a lot more Amazonian this time. She's apparently supposed to be like 6 feet tall, and she definitely looks like it this time.
Oh, pound chest.
She got those broad shoulders.
Those thick.
Now she really looks like a goddess, like Athena or something. Yeah, this is by Bowen Urger, who's the man behind Caulifla from Dragon Ball Super.
Cauliflower.
Yeah, so I guess he just likes girls that can beat the shit out of him physically.
I don't blame him. I don't blame.
Well, speaking of which, Rotom, why don't you go ahead and start off? What do you think of Pyrrha's art rework?
Well, compared to like.
Oh, I have an old image for comparison. Let's throw that in there.
Oh yes, please do. Oh yes.
It's like it looks like her little sister.
Yeah, her older model.
Looks like someone cosplaying Pyrrha.
So I guess her older model is kind of like just the ancient relic of the old Kiske days, where you just don't change the eyes.
Hey man, I remember when old Pyrrha came out. That's not ancient. What are you trying to say?
No, you got me there. Still, I guess you could say more beginning, like the beginner's guide to SPNatI, where nobody changes the eyes all that much. Still, I would say the model itself is quite a huge improvement. Like, you can actually see some of the custom stuff with, especially like the knee pads, where you can actually see a lot more detail with the actual legs. And even
It's not just wearing stockings.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just the default clothing like usual, but it actually adds some stuff to it. As for the character herself, I haven't really played a lot of Pyrrha, honestly, but I guess like the reason why I started to started to scout her out is just because she actually replies to one of my April Fool's characters, Section Man. Like even before her remodel and rework, it's actually quite surprising that an offline character of all people tries to like target my ongoing April Fool's character. But either way, I digress. I definitely do need to play Pyrrha quite a bit more, just to get a feel for her personality and all that. But I would say that Bornerger did a pretty good job with the model. And that's all I have to say about that. Wibbly?
That's the Forrest Gump way of ending.
Yeah, I think that first off, when I was looking at the model a bit more, I feel like it gave me, not to the same extent as Yang did, but it gives me a little bit of that kind of 3D feel a bit too. And part of me was thinking maybe it's like the contrast between those like very detailed eyes and the very pale skin that does something like that a bit.
I think both Pyrrha and Yang, and I think Weiss were modeled specifically off of like using the 3D models as references.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No. It's definitely a massive improvement. And one of the things I was going to say is that when I was targeting her with Mega Man, gives off a very kind of almost not quite full on motherly, but kind of big sister motherly-ish, kind of like caring or concerned, but not in like a RR way, but like in a like she's just a very humble, kind of very caring person. And so I definitely like the idea of playing on that a lot more too, because it's just very, I don't know, it's fun. It's like I feel like you get some characters. I think one of the fun things that would a fun balance would be striking without doing that, without making her too naive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because you get a lot of that naivete with that mix, but there's not a lot of that kind of mix with the lack of naivete. And I feel like she's not necessarily a sheltered person. I don't know, but yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I can really. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really agree with that. I think the new artwork is stellar. I think it's super good. It gives her a lot of distinction, and I think the like helpful big sister angle is really, really nice. I do think that something she suffers from is like still why. I know Cavendish is going to listen to this, and I commented a little bit in the chat, but ultimately I think she just needs like something else. Like, you know, the humble celebrity angles, like most of the like celebrity type characters we get are like douchebags. So it would be nice to have her, I say in public, but I think it would be nice to have her.
Wait, who are the other humble celebrities?
No, there aren't any. I think like all the other celebrities are kind of obnoxious.
The closest you get is number one.
Hey, thank you so much.
Has that kind of fake like distance between her character role and the fan. So
yeah, I think it's really tricky. I think Pyrrha is like, I don't know. I'm not doing this to like jerk myself off, but here we are. I think with like Coco, at least, like Coco has a very distinct personality. I think with Pyrrha, it's kind of in the context of her show, she's really important, but it's a little bit more ambiguous in the context of like other people. I think what I really want is like a reason to play her from her personality and not just her appearance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's something to that, but I don't really have a good idea of what it is, which sucks because I hate to be like, make it better, but not like in any given direction. I think making like her be a known quantity, a known celebrity, and then sort of lean into, you know, just being nice about it, but also having that kind of caring older sister attitude, just without being like, you know, you can do it. Like, you know, there's that like that kind of Genki, upbeat, you know, supportive type characters. There's a lot of those in SPNatI. I think having her be a little bit more like, don't do stupid shit, but you know, I'm still here for you kind of angle would be something to do. I don't know. It's really tricky. But that's kind of my like rambling thoughts on her. I think she's like a very big step in the right direction. I just think she just needs some spice. She needs some spice to her. So I actually got given a mask in the restaurant because I was like looking like a fucking moron, and the lady's just like, "Do you want a mask?" And I'm like, "Yes, please." So now I'm wearing a mask, and life is good.
Oh yeah, do you want me to keep sock puppeting you?
No, I'm good now. I'm out now.
I'm not eating. I'm in a restaurant and forgot my mask like an idiot, so I have my shirt over it, just picking up food. Napsu is at home. I walked to get food during my podcast.
Yeah. I'm just that nice of a guy, but I brought this upon myself. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Pyrrha. I think great step in the right direction. It'll be really interesting to compare her now to when she's like in sponsorship, because I think they're like, Cavendish is a talented writer. I think we'll see some good stuff from his take on the character.
I get what you were saying about you want more than just her appearance to sell you on playing the character. Although I must say, with this rework, the appearance definitely sells me on picking her.
Yeah, definitely.
She's a highly detailed now. You know, we got like good like body detailing and all the depth to her clothes and like all these little baubles and accessories she has.
Man, I'm here for the articles. Like, it's really hard to get the art can turn me off from playing a character, but it very rarely is like, yes, this is what I want to do. I'm here to read. Fundamentally, and that like Amazonian body type with like the broad shoulders, and it's not like she has like really thin hips or anything. Like it's definitely got its appeal. She looks great, and the way like when she stretches at first and she takes up like the entire screen, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Just give her blue hair and SPNanon will give it a stamp of approval.
I had her with none of my girls are Amazons.
Fair.
Jura's like 5'8".
Wait, really? Oh,
wait, Jura's like 5'8".
Yeah.
She seems taller than that.
I thought Mayo was the taller one.
To be fair, I think like the average height.
No, Maya's like 5'6".
I think the average height in SPNatI is like closer to like 5'4", 5-ish, just because
Yeah.
like no, like the median.
All the Japanese schoolgirls.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Five, two.
the median is there is regression to the mean in a very severe way.
Yeah.
It's also just because like you can't have super tall characters just because it looks ridiculous. It's also
I want to see one with their head poking out of the screen now.
And the dialogue would be pretty problematic.
Yeah, the fact that the girls like it's all scaled for women's heights means that Pyrrha towers over like Jim
Jotaro
and Jotaro. Although I think Pyrrha actually is like canon taller than Jim.
Yeah,
Not Jotaro though.
I think
Jotaro should be like the tallest guy in the game.
Joe's like tall.
Jotaro's like 6'5".
it's like the fucking like small brain play making characters you're attracted to. The galaxy brain Nmasp making characters that are short enough to fit your absurd fucking dialogue tangents on in one in one block.
Yeah, how would you make Marinette ramble the way she does if she were tall?
I'd have to make the text scroll, so I'd just be like, RC, let's make a user experience issue, but it'll make my life happier.
Have a little scroll bar when you mouse over.
He actually do that?
I think he would do it, but I don't want like RC is doing like a lot of work for the game. I don't want to like have him do a feature that I know I'm gonna hate if anyone else asks for it. But I think what also is good about this though, fundamentally, is like so I think like the idea of like using like visual humor in the game is very strong, and this is a topic I would come into later. But you essentially have the character's dialogue go on so long it like goes behind the character's like entire body. I think those are really funny because some idiot's always going to be like, "Oh, the dialogue's too long." It's just like, yeah, asshole. It's So anyway, that's yeah. So now on, sorry, you're talking here. Might be.
Yeah, she's got a great rack. I wish she had a butt pose.
Ooh, does she not?
She really should. I can imagine it's toned.
Oh man, that's a missed opportunity. You can get like those little butt indents, like ooh.
Okay, you gotta every missing butt is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, but ooh.
Honestly, I'm not much of a butt person, but
Did you see the fucking caboose we got with Perona? That's all flab though. Like let's get muscle in there.
She's built like a dump truck.
Okay, you gotta quit it with the dump truck stuff. I don't know where that's
Never.
coming from.
I don't know. It makes you uncomfortable, so it's very funny for me. So
I don't want to go down that road, the dirt road.
good. Oh no.
oh no.
Oh no. But also,
It's not this. Butts aren't the same thing as that. But
I mean, that's not why I'm using that term, but it's. I mean, anyway, I have my thoughts on that. But
anyway, Boner, get on that. I'm not satisfied. You lazy asshole.
I wish to return. My. I need to cook this a little longer.
Giving her that unique body type though really helps her stand out visually from the other Ruby girls. Right now,
or like all the characters in general.
Like, before she just kind of looked like another one, in addition to sounding like another one.
Yeah.
And now she's got her own look to her. So I definitely liked that. Dialogue-wise, again, kind of like last time, I think she's getting there, but she's just not there yet. She still talks about the game a little bit too much. I know Cavendish is busy with Yuri, so that's probably why. I think the main thing I noticed this time is that even when she got down to like the later stages, she was so focused on sort of being embarrassed that she never really got like sexual in any way. She never really addressed anyone in that sort of capacity, just never flirted, never seemed to really enjoy it all that much, except, at the very end. So she kind of faded away towards the end. I'd really, go in that direction a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do with Amazons and celebrities and media appearances. You could wring something out of that. So
I mean, I can kind of understand why she kind of strayed away from the lewd way. Like, to be fair, I guess with some of the characters I made, I do kind of try to stray away from the more lewd stuff and try to be a bit funny, which that's going to be a little topic later in this podcast about, like, the different aspects of SPNatI in general. But I honestly, if you're not at least a little flirtatious you'd pretty much be better off in the regular Poker Night at the inventory.
Yeah, and Telltale's dead, so good luck with that.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, that's actually a problem, something I struggled with when writing with Megaman where at the beginning was, it felt like, when I was writing it first, it was like, I felt like her character would respond overly, like, embarrassed to almost everything, but then I realized that was really boring, so I kind of did a little tweaking to make it so she was kind of awkwardly trying to be comfortable with things, which made things a lot more fun. So it's like, sometimes like your initial thought on how a character would react to it, sometimes tweaking it a little bit can go a long way to help it fit even more into the context.
Yeah, like, I know you want to stay in character, but if it's not interesting and it's not sexy, then, like...
Why bother?
What's the point? Yeah.
In the wise words of Reggie, if a game's not fun, why bother?
Oh, Reggie's gone too.
Oh, no.
Oh, now I'm sad.
That does make me sad.
Now we got Doug Bowser.
I'm back. I'm back. You know, it's me.
You left?
Yeah, it's me, still on gay Bowser.
So long, Game Browser.
So long, gay Nmasp.
Yeah, it's just like, what's your... Oh, fuck, I'm gonna drop a mirror on myself. God damn it, shit.
I want to picture Pyrrha doing that to Bowser.
Just so long gay. You know, my name is Bowser, comma S. S is for so long gay. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I had to... The food has been delivered, all is well, things are good. Life is full of joy and sushi.
She's got a model, so I want to see Super Pyrrha 64.
God. So let's okay, I think we've said our piece about Pyrrha. Any closing thoughts before we'll move on to the characters and sponsorship?
When?
What?
When she getting a butt.
Oh, my boy.
Pyrrha butt when?
I briefly made this comment, just, you know, Solitaire, if you can put them like side by side, the original Pyrrha model and the new one, it yeah, looks like her little sister. I think I said this.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, looks like someone cosplaying her.
Papa Booey.
All right, so let's...
I'm not sure if that was recorded.
You got it. Yeah, it was recorded. Let's move on to the characters in sponsorship. We'll just do these alphabetically. So,
let's just do Moon first. Let's get it over with.
Okay, fine. Anyway, so I think Moon's good. I think
that's the same thing her gynecologist says.
It's okay. So let's, I'll go ahead and let our guests get started. But I have some strongly worded but simple feelings about Moon.
All right. So yeah, briefly, like, she's in sponsorship now, and Arndress specifically, I guess to smooth over public relations, requested that people with a made a character role can only be the ones to sponsor her. So normally we want like random Reddit users to engage and sponsor characters, but for this time we actually want he wanted developers to do it.
Yes. I'm gonna have a lot of fun saying some stuff about Moon. Considering Pokemon's kind of my thing.
Did you write your sponsorship for her yet? Because if, honestly, Arndress is like super good at taking feedback. So if you have strong feelings about this, please do write it up in a sponsorship and give him something to work with.
I'll try my...
Rotom, why haven't you made any Pokemon characters?
Because there's like a billion of them. It's not the Masquerade.
That is a good question.
They're not allowed outside the Masquerade.
That is a good question, actually. I think the reason why I haven't made any Pokemon characters, or at least tried to collaborate with anybody that has like a model for them, I guess it's just because, well, I guess it's a little harder to capture their personalities with some of them. I mean, yes, they do have much more dialogue than Brawl Stars characters, but with some of them, I just have to get used to trying to capture the personality of, say, like, Skyla versus, like, Winona. Both flying type gym leaders, but we kind of have to differentiate between the two. But I digress. Let's talk about Moon. Well,
I guess specifically Moon in a sponsorship context, because otherwise we've kind of said all we can on her.
Yeah, but to keep it brief, Moon was actually probably one of the first characters that I've played with, ever since my time here in SPNatI. She's a very
I'm sorry.
She's a very interesting character, to say the least. I mean, I do enjoy, her energetic personality, but considering she's a bit more on the irrational side, it's just a little off-putting. But as for like some of the sponsorship for Moon actually remedies some of those just a bit. I mean, she still kind of has that. She kind of retains that same crazy personality that she did back in the day, but her remodel is very nice, actually. It actually makes her even cuter. But I guess you could say, compare, do you have the comparison between the new Moon and the old Moon?
I'm sure I could post something.
Yeah, go ahead, because I just wanted to make it clear that the new Moon remodel, I just have to say it's pretty adorable, because I'm kind of a huge fan of cute things, but I digress. I would say the new Moon is a pretty big improvement over the old Moon. That's all I have to say about that. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. That just does take me back to the days of dealing with
Her head is so big.
Yes.
So inflated with piss.
Yeah. The new colors look much more natural than the old flatulent
The old shit brown.
Yes. Exactly. It doesn't really help that her naked poses kind of exposes a lot more brown than it should. Even with her white moon outfit, alternate outfit, it just seems off, like the old ones do. But the new ones look much more natural, and I gotta say, big improvement. It's amazing. Wibbly?
Yeah, I've honestly, I know she's not everyone's favorite character, but I've honestly liked the at least direction that she's going, especially in regards to the old character. And so I think that Oranges has been putting a lot of good hard work into kind of trying to turn something that's kind of a divisive character into something more that more people can get behind. So I really appreciate the effort he's putting into it. And that's about. I talked. I think most of my thoughts I've mentioned last time we brought this up. Can't remember everything, but it's got some funny moments. It's got. I don't really have a whole huge rant to say this time, so I'll pass it.
Yeah, I think honestly, I just like Moon's tone. She's obnoxious as fuck, but she's hilarious. Like, she's gotten, there's so many stupid lines here, but in the best possible way. The sense of humor here is perfect for a porn game. I think Moon is definitely the best porn character, in the sense that there's so much history here to unpack. Well, it's like her and Panty, right? I think are the two that are just this is exactly what
she makes my dick retreat like a frightened turtle.
Well, that's fine though, right? Is I think the strength of a character is not so much their ability to pull people in per se, as much as it is to provide enjoyment for the audience that it's there for. And I think Moon's great. I honestly think the art rework has helped her a ton. I think the extra dialogue and the lines and giving her targeted information is super, super effective. I think the idea of having
fuck
people...
you.
What?
You're just super effective.
It's super effective.
I don't get it.
Pokemon super effective.
Seriously? You got
was that serendipity?
I have not played Pokemon since Red and Blue Edition.
Super effective is when you're.
It's been there since the beginning.
Pokemon.
Look, I don't remember. I don't remember every piece of information that has ever crossed into my brain, or Anyway, you get it. Well, not all of us are blessed with the powers of autism, and we do what we can. So,
point taken.
Anyway, I think Moon is. God, I'm trying to think of another pun, but I'm just it's a critically acclaimed improvement. Anyway.
Oh, you ruined it.
I did. I know, because I can't do it deliberately.
Gonna go out on top.
Fine,
yeah,
whatever.
Leave the audience wanting more.
Yeah. Anyway, Moon's good. Improved character.
That's why we stopped making these podcasts 5 hours long.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and sponsor Moon after this. Anyway.
You don't have to do that.
I want to though.
Either way, I do have something to add, I guess, just to that.
Yeah.
Like, some of the dialogue I know some of the dialogue from her, it was a bit atrocious at first, but it's nice that Arndis kind of simmered it down just a bit. Like, it can get pretty wild at times. That's like the nicest way possible. It just gets wild. Maybe a little bit taboo, I guess you could say. But it's nice that it kind of simmered down, kind of gets more into the safer zone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's just a generally quality upgrade.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah. Like last time I said it, it is an upgrade. Arndress has definitely put a lot of work into this. But it's sort of, the same way of like throwing baloney at a tank. Wasted effort. He listens to these podcasts, and I know, like, he took my advice on, like, making her less obnoxious, more like, free love, like hippie girl, just, less insulting other people when it's their turn, and like bringing the game down, and more encouraging them, which he's been doing with updates. But I just, it's not to the point that I would have. He tries to just like make them less frequent, and has been like trying to add other lines, but he hasn't really been deleting the lines that I complained about, which I would have done. So I really think at this point, like, it's a good effort. I'm glad that, he believes in this project and wants to save it, but I just don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on this. I'm not really that offended by her presence. I kind of forget about her, honestly. I just don't pick her. So it doesn't really bother me all that much if she gets sponsored or not, but yeah, it's just whatever.
Different strokes for different folks.
If you're gonna work on her, I guess might as well make her better, and she is better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like her. I think Moon's great. Unironically, like, she's good. She's a good character. All right, so let's talk about Bernie to just like dramatically do like tonal whiplash. And
do we have to end on saying Moon's a good character?
Moon is a good character if you like the type of character that Moon is.
I don't want to just be silent and give that my
look,
silent
dude.
endorsement.
We're gonna go investigate voter fraud now. Don't you worry. You can still have your say, SPNatI. Here's your bottle and hot milk. It's also what Moon asks for at the end of an evening.
What's with all these late mail-in sponsorships for Moon?
So curious.
Good question.
Clearly, we are being cheated.
Clearly, anyway.
The sponsorship was stolen.
But I personally said that I didn't want this outcome. Therefore, it's impossible that this outcome could ever occur. So let's talk about.
They're really hurting my feelings.
How dare they tell me they're going to impeach me? Anyway, so let's talk about Bernie Sanders, because we're on the politics cast, right, guys? Anyway, so Bernadetta, I honestly, for this section, I don't have
just put a picture of like Bernie winning all 538 electoral votes.
That's a good one. I think, like, honestly, Bernie's been pretty good since she came out. I think Horse Killer has expanded on her. Someone else has been writing Bernie lately, right? It's If I May. Yeah, who also picked up Yusuke and Futaba. Oh, that's great. Anyway, so their combined efforts is like, Bernie doesn't have a lot of lines. I think the biggest thing right now is I would love to see her respond to more of the inbounds and maybe take some more initiative. But I don't know. I think for the character that she is, like this like shy kind of closet pervert, same thing that I said like the last time we were talking about her on the cast, she's good. She's just going to improve with more dialogue. I think that's the biggest thing with Horse Killer's girls in general, is I always just wish he wrote more for them, because he does a good job writing them.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Probably like one of the best writers in the SPNatI roster.
He writes really sweet girls really well, which is nice.
Well, I honestly haven't played Bernie a lot either, but it's just, from what I've actually played from her, she's freaking adorable. I'm a big fan of adorable girls, the ones that are moe, as they say.
As they say.
I feel like Bernadetta is like just I feel like Fire Emblem as a whole is just basically like waifu generator. They just like spin the roulette to combine traits.
That's that, and also Fate.
Yeah, so I think like Bernie, like if she's checking your boxes, she's checking like a lot of your boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would play.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Rotom.
No
Can she
problem.
check out other girls' boxes?
I think she does.
Hey, that deserves a pun yang.
Well, as I was saying, the little blanket that she has, especially I think it was around her masturbation stage, I think, that she actually shows it off a bit. I'm trying to remember. But just, that's all I have to say. Just, I just don't have much to say about her, honestly, but she's freaking adorable. Just go ahead, Wibbly. I know.
I was gonna say this is like my third cast talking about her, so I don't have much to add either. It's just that I really love the character. I think the forfeit stage is adorable and very creative, and she's just very funny. And I agree with absolutely with what Kexi says. It's like I definitely would love to see more dialogue, but there's no rush. Like there's because the stuff he puts out of his face is great. So.
Must suppress the
Horse Killer could write more, but the cute girls he makes, he's very passionate about them and like making them seem cute. He's always like working on some like weird Kisuke thing where he like puts them in different costumes and obviously stuff like Birdie wrapping herself up in a blanket. Just like he's constantly thinking about how can I make them more adorable. Which he definitely succeeds at. He's put a ton of work into Bernie, especially. I mean, the fact that she's leaving testing without and she's got like an alternate costume for people who would prefer her, like in her older appearance. So she's really got something for everybody, I think. I mean, obviously you want you're going after people who really like embarrassed characters, but she's got a little bit of a comedic edge to her, so she's not just like a Florina. Like the way she's constantly thinking about how everyone's out to get her.
Yeah,
is pretty funny. She got like the sheltered aspect. She's like if Florina and Tomoko fused.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good description.
She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really like her.
So yeah, go sponsor her if you haven't.
I should do some sponsorships. Actually, I'm gonna do something better. Napsu, go. Honey, go write sponsorships.
I wonder what our voter turnout would be if like you had to write a paragraph of sponsorship for the candidate.
What?
I do that with characters.
If you couldn't just like, yeah, thumbs up, I vote for him. You have to write out what you liked about them.
I honestly thought that's the actual requirement, anyways.
No, he's talking about like the United States of America and presidential elections.
Yeah, I'm talking about because we can never get anybody to sponsor. So it's like, what would voter turnout be like if it took more effort?
Okay, so so SPNon, I believe you have the floor. Any Bernie thoughts? I don't think he would have won in the election against
I just talked about
Biden. But yeah, any closing thoughts though? I'm giving you last word. I had the moon last word.
Bernie 2024.
There we go. All right. So I thought I took the moon one. I thought I'd give you the Bernie one, but given that I had the last one about the moon, I feel like now's a good time to talk about the stars, also known as Stella and Supernova.
Specifically, a star that has exploded and is dying.
Oh, I don't think she deserves to die. I think she's a good effort.
Yes, this is an original character by Ninja Monkey 42, who has improved her appearance quite a bit over the course of her stay. Now she's going for sponsorship. So, Rotom, why don't you start things off? Supernova. She makes portals without a portal gun. She goes to different dimensions.
Yeah.
Her name is Stella.
I guess from what I've actually played Stella quite a bit more than some of the other picks on this list, other than Moon, of course, but I would definitely say Supernova is a pretty solid pick for sponsorships, but of course there are quite a couple things that she could probably work on, like trying to interact with more characters and just making sure she kind of feels right at home at the inventory. Like, what I really enjoy about Stella in general is just the amount of lines that she actually targets towards Brock. So Brock and Supernova kind of do seem to have that friendly aesthetic between the two of them, and quite frankly, I kind of ship it, but I don't know. It means those two just kind of interact quite a lot, which is always nice. I'm always down for any kinds of interactions. I would say she is a pretty solid pick. Like, her artwork has quite improved ever since he kind of started working on some of the other models. Like, I remember, like, some of her first models, it was just the typical, as SPNatI doesn't like to call it, ancient, but the more beginning versions of Kiske.
In the beginnings of time.
It's default Chan.
Yes, default. Oh, that is a great example. Default Chan. It was just kind of like that, but over time, she kind of grew to be a lot more unique than quite usual. Hopefully,
her artist is becoming one of the one of the faces of like the Kisake scene on the Discord server. To be honest,
Yeah, he's actually really, really quite good. He won a lot of the Akko prizes. I think he won like the top Akko prize when I was doing that contest. The art's good. I think Wibbly, if you want to like Rotom, if you're done and want to hand over to Wibbly, you can. I've got some thoughts on Supernova.
I was gonna say it's the kind of, I remember at the beginning how I felt the way it was, the stepping out of the portal thing looked a bit awkward, and looking at it now, it was really cool. Like, seeing that added a lot more to it. And yeah, the model, amazing, like 1000% improvement. It's like, it wasn't terrible to before, but like just amazing kind of seeing the amount of effort and work he's put into. Like, I've been slightly absent during the time he's been doing this stuff, so seeing that 180 change, like, I was like very impressed, and so congrats. And yeah, no, other than that, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's always really hard to do an OC in the game, and I think Supernova is I definitely think she's ready for sponsorship, and she's in this awkward place where I think she's very distinct at what she does. It's almost just that I wish there were more of it, and I don't know how to do that organically without just targeting a bunch of characters and getting more inbound dialogue. So I guess my suggestion to Ninja Monkey, and I'll put this, I'll put this in the social server too, just to get him reminded. But I'd have him reach out to people and ask for some more conversations, because I think. So, for instance, like if you talk, say Supernova and Natsuki had a conversation, right? Or Supernova and Akko. Those are two very different characters with very different conversations, and because the inventory is a multiversal place, I think it's a missed opportunity not to really tap into that and be like, oh, okay, so I'm going to talk about your literature club, and even if I've never encountered like other versions of you, I know that there's other like clubs elsewhere, there's other realities, et cetera, et cetera. So it's almost like an Elizabeth from BioShock thing, but yeah. I think that there's like a lot of room for that, and that's the thing she's missing. I also think that her stripping dialogue is not very interesting, is really kind of the only cardinal sin here. When she's talking to Jesse, that's great. I just want more of that to really flesh her out, and I think it's really... OCs are really difficult to do in the context of themselves. They're a lot better when you can flesh their worlds out through conversational dialogue. So I think Ninja Monkey 42, my biggest advice for Supernova is just go talk to people directly and ask them to target your character, and then use those conversations to springboard, multiversal conversations from Supernova. That's a big ask, but I think that would make this character really excel. I was about to say stellar, and I decided not to. So, I'm here.
Oh, I wouldn't have minded.
I know.
That opportunity. I know, but like I think the design is good. I think she's doing some cool stuff. I just think she needs to talk about other people's worlds and like relate it back to herself, which is... Do you guys like have any people that are really good about like taking, like, making use of those line cases? I think Jura is pretty good at that. So is Maya, and I think...
What line cases?
Like in the sense of just like talking about another character's world from the perspective of their own. Except,
Maya especially.
Except I think Supernova. I think Jesse is really good at this too. Like I think Alpha Man does a really great job. But I think if Supernova essentially used other characters' worlds as an opportunity to talk about alternate versions of those worlds and how she's been through them and how she's like related to them, I think that's a really compelling angle. I'm not saying you have to do it with every single character in the game, but I do think more of that would really drive her from like a mid-tier character to the upper echelons really easily, and then that gives you something to build on with every new character that comes out. And this is
I remember that was kind of like what we were talking about last time. We were talking about her a bit, how she, as an OC and as a dimensional traveler,
right.
She could really play off other characters a lot by talking about their worlds, and it could be really cool.
Yeah. That was my advice last time. I'm not sure if going for sponsorship is a little bit premature, because I'd like to see that expanded upon a little bit more. Obviously, that could be a sponsorship requirement, but it's a little vague.
I mean, that was the case with Brock. Like, I do have, like,
All right, part 2, bitches.
Well, okay.
Solitaire might have to splice these together.
That's okay. He's gonna have like a third one soon, anyway. So.
Oh, this is going to be a disaster for him.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes. Well, I lost my train of thought.
Stand on hard sponsorship conditions, doing more world stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about Brock.
Yeah, Brock. Yeah. Like, I guess especially with Brock, I just have kind of those problems as well about talking about his world in Star Park, I guess. So, it is a pretty challenging thing to do, but I think it would be a good idea to kind of add that as a requirement.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
It's just, again, like it's hard to sell an OC on just being an OC unless you go really hard into like a fetish or something. And if you don't do that, I think your best bet is to, normally I say, you can't rely on your targeted lines, but in this case, it might be best to just like cast a wide net.
Yeah, I think there's absolutely
target as many people as possible.
I think there's absolutely no shame in just targeting like the absolute fuck out of the cast and then going to people and being like, hey, I targeted you. Please give me courtesy lines. Like, I've done it. There's no shame in it. People, like, I'm like, hey, I put like 20 lines towards your character. Target me, you stingy asshole. And then people get killed.
I mean, appearance-wise, like I said, I think she's definitely like among the most like among like the cutest OCs we have.
She is.
I think so. Yeah.
I do adore her design. It's pretty cute.
I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's hard to like. OCs are hard to do because you have to compete with like people who get paid to make characters for a living almost, and I think she does well. She reminds me like she's very 90s, if that makes sense.
Yeah, kind of like the vaporwave kind of.
Yeah.
That's what like I've actually kind of commented on that kind of vaporwave style that she gives off. But it's
vaporwave.
It's something that I really enjoy. Myself.
Let's hope she doesn't turn into vaporware.
No.
Vapor what?
Vaporware.
Oh dear.
So is that it? Does that conclude things?
I think so.
I think that concludes our first section of the cast. So I've got like So I'm sorry, guys. I kind of overcommitted myself tonight.
All good.
And so we can stop. I think we can stop recording, and we'll do part 2 after. We'll do part 2 later this week, where we could focus in on some of the other content.
Yeah, we have. So we talked about the characters this time, episode 46, I guess, and then we'll come back for episode 46.5.
46.5. Yeah, I actually think that it might be good to like do that more often.
This is a pretty manageable sized episode, anyway.
Yeah. I think if we had more stuff. Oh God, so long, Gabe Bowser, Pyrrha. That's actually great.
I mastered shit posting while not paying attention a long time ago.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah. So actually,
I'm glad you could contribute in your own way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I forgot that there were some plans tonight, so I had to go get dinner and some other things. But
It's all right. It's my fault we're recording today.
Nah, it's all good. So let's meet up later this week. We can find a time later, as long as it's we'll get together and hang out. Also, just unrelated, I'm getting like dinner with Mike and Corky on Monday. So
Wait,
That'll
what?
be fun.
You know that this is we're still recording.
Yeah, well, fuck it.
If you just want to,
So wait,
I'm just
are you
just
actually
allow-
in the same area as Mike and Corky?
just dox
allow me to
yourself.
dox. Can we like maybe stop recording?
Well, okay. Well, let me briefly just edit this out, Solitaire. Don't dox.
Solly, just like edit this at the end.
But I'd like to say, okay, for those listening, we're gonna come back with, we talked about the characters, and if there's any new characters in the next few days, we'll talk about them next time. But our main thing is going to be some of the topical questions of next time. So we're going to talk about various aspects of SPNatI, the humor, sex appeal, all that, some horror characters in the game, and reviews and all that good stuff. So even though it's November, but November is pretty spooky.
Halloween never ends. November was it remains to be slightly dread-inducing, but until January.
Well, I mean, last week was probably spookier.
Yeah.
It's the spook before Christmas.
I mean, everything's dying. That's pretty spooky.
So long, gay Bowsers. I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast.
Of course. See you guys later.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
See you guys next time.
But that's kind of my rambling thoughts on her. I think she's a very big step in the right direction. I just think she just needs some spice. She needs some spice to her.
Rotom, why are you just breathing heavily into the mic?
That's not me.
Was that Nmasp?
Is that another person?
Could be like a water. Could be me just drinking my water or something.
Oh, yeah.
So